Hello, everybody. My name's Milan Starcic. Welcome to Freedom Rising, a podcast dedicated to empowering individuals on the journey to personal growth, lasting serenity, and freedom from addiction. Tune in and join the movement. Your journey to freedom starts here. We neither represent, promote, or demote any 12-step program or organization. We are merely souls on the path of recovery with the desire to expand our lives and experiences and share them with you. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Recovery Freedom Rising and the 187th episode. I'm Milan Starcic with co-host Andrew Norman, Brandi S., and special guest Nicolette. It's been a while since we've had you on here, Nicolette. And to everybody out there, Nicolette was asked to come back on, and she kind of came up with this really cool topic, like I would call it recovery, supplemental recovery techniques and alternatives to 12 steps with recovery. That would kind of sum it up, right, Nicolette?
Yeah, I mean, I love 12-step recovery, but there's been so many things outside of what I've learned in 12-step that have added so much depth and life to my recovery. And I just wanted an opportunity to sort of ask questions and talk with you guys about that because I think it's a great topic. And I think that maybe not all of these are well known in the recovery world, or maybe they are by a lot of people, but I think newcomers coming in to recovery, I'm not sure how much the stuff gets shared with them. And I think that it should be shared because it's helped me grow a lot. And I know, I've done a lot of work with Brandi. I know it's helped her grow. And I know some other people in the program that have just benefited exponentially from some of these things. So
I think it's important for people to get all the help they can. And, just like I don't think one person is like your entire world of love. I don't think that one technique is the entire world and the entire picture of what can help you grow in your recovery. So I was super stoked to get into this. So we'll start off with you asking Andrew your first question, then Brandi, then me, then yourself. And then we'll kind of go around like that, and you'll start with a different person with every question. So if you'd like, you could take it away, Nicolette.
okay, awesome. And thank you for the opportunity to just like pick this topic and share about something that
So
I'm
excited.
passionate about. So,
Love
okay.
you.
Love you guys so much.
Woo-wee.
Okay. So, first question, do you want me to answer it first, Milan,
Nope,
or
you
are we
ask
gonna have
Andrew
Andrew
first.
answer it first?
Andrew, then
Okay.
Brandi, then me, then you.
Awesome. Okay, so the first question, Andrew, is what are other methods besides 12-step that you've used to supplement your recovery?
Great question, and welcome back, Miss Nicolette. It's been a long time. We miss you and we love you a lot, and we're so glad you're here again, giving us some time. You're a special, special, special person, and we love you a lot. So I started thinking about this. We've had a little time to think about a little bit of this, and coming into this, the first thing that came to my mind, because in terms of like 12-step fellowships, I have attended AA, the mother fellowship, let's just call it, a few times, but that was it was kind of still in my active addiction. It was when I was being forced into the rooms, which was obviously the initial shock of the thing. I got worn out that way, but um there's a lot of ways outside of any 12-step fellowships that I started thinking about, and you know, personal spiritual practice. I practice spirituality. Specifically, daily meditation, prayer. It does. The fellowship told me to do that, but these are now practices that I have to do on my own. Um, maintaining mindfulness. Staying present, observing my thoughts. Trying to stay consciously connected to something other than me, because when I start, that self-will piece is, as soon as that thing starts coming in, I start getting at a sort. So I do a lot of journaling. I write a lot. Through the pen we see the light. I think I hit on that last time you were on here. Through the pen, we see the light, and the magic I'm working for is in the work I'm avoiding. So in addition to journaling, you got step work, stuff like that, but journaling is very important to me, getting my thoughts on paper. Um, it allows me to be organized, right? Like it's, my head, it allows me to not be so jumbled in my brain, which is usually always jumbled. If I'm not focused, writing stuff down, organized, I'm just unorganized by nature, myself. Physical health, self-care, I walk, do a lot of walking. I used to work out a lot. I don't work out a lot anymore. I'm glad this is all coming up to light because I need to start working out again, all these things are
Yeah.
just things that I need to get on the forefront of my mind because all these things work together. All these things we're talking about and that we'll be talking about here today, they all feed off of each other. It's not just like, hey, we get the physical thing right, everything else, the mental is just going to come along with it. It doesn't work like that. Everything has to be kind of running together, or it's not going to, we're just not going to be on top of our game. I got to stay structured, disciplined. My routines that I have, I got to stay to those routines, setting my daily schedules and goals. Time management is a key with me because I'm always late. So I got to be like scheduled to be super early all the time or or I'm kind of screwed because I always find a way in there to slow the process down and make myself and ramp my blood pressure up. It's my way to be still an addict. Like I'll make myself late.
Mm.
I'm telling you, I have a real serious problem with like being late to work because it gets me riled up. It gets me something I have to talk to my boss about. Like seriously, it's something that I do
That's a
step
good,
work.
yeah.
It's step. I make paperwork for myself, and I literally while
Yeah.
I'm doing it, I think about doing it. We talk about paperwork, Miss Nicolette. I don't
We
think
don't
you've
like
been
paperwork.
privy to that. We don't like paperwork. When we do stuff and paperwork is step work. When we talk about paperwork, nobody likes paperwork, whether it's in a work setting, personal setting. We don't like paperwork. And I'm like mentally like tapped out to like I'm just gonna deal with the paperwork. Like I gotta have something has to be riled up in my day. I can't
Mm.
just have a nice calm day and not have anything happen. I gotta throw it out of whack. So I gotta get some like critical thinking going on or something. I don't really, I'm working through all that and it's stuff that I'm processing. As I talk about it, I get better at it. And I go through these waves still where I'm like, I can maintain staying right on time or early, but then I'm just late for like a significant amount of time. It's just weird, really, like
Yeah.
just a few minutes late, just to see if somebody says something to me. It's weird. It's
I
weird.
say something. I say
It's
something.
it's weird. It's
Well,
weird.
it's kind of like I get it. It's almost like creating anger or creating drama
Yeah,
because you don't know that that's what you're actually trying to get. Yeah.
just to get me in some strife or something. Like I don't really know what it is. Again, I'm putting my
It's
finger on
the
it, and it might always
beard.
be like that. It's might be the beard. It might be the beard.
Yeah,
I
like
thought of
you'd be way more airstream if you shave clean.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you,
Yeah.
like you pick up less wind
I thought y'all
resistance.
liked the presidential look. I thought
I
y'all liked
I
I
do,
like
but
presidential.
if that's the cause, we got to do some
I dig a
All
chopping.
beard.
right. I don't want to hear from either one of y'all. Miss Nicolette, what do you think? Do you like it?
Well, I like the presidential look, but I feel like if
She
it's
don't like
causing
it.
you to be
Nope.
late all
She
the
don't like it.
time,
Yep.
That's a no.
uh,
Ooh,
That's a no. That's a no. I was late before and after this beard, but that's okay. That's all
Yeah.
right. That's all right.
That's
So,
okay.
I thought
We
about
love you.
creative expression. I love y'all more. I don't. I'm gonna move through this. So
We're silly in the evening.
I know. I love y'all so much, man. Connecting with nature is a big thing for me. That's the first thing that really
Mm.
popped into my head is being one with nature. Like streams move the way they do. They don't ask any questions about how they run downstream. Like the wind doesn't ask how it blow, like if it's gonna blow the right way. Like it just does. When I can stay one with nature and the trees, like the trees don't ask how tall they want to
Mm.
be. Like they just grow to how tall they're gonna be. They just do. And that really taps me in and keeps me focused on my recovery, regardless of whether I'm in or thinking about it. I mean, it's not just about being in meetings. Like meetings are great. I do a lot of meetings, but it's about so much more than that, as y'all know. And I'm
Yeah.
sure we'll
So
open that
much.
up. That's pretty much it for me. I'll keep it on that. We'll keep it quick and simple. Thank you for that question. It was a great question. I think I answered it the way you wanted to. I hope.
yeah. Love
yeah,
you,
that was
brother.
awesome. Thanks, Andrew. You touched on
Yeah.
a
You're
lot of
welcome.
really good stuff there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you repeat it for Brandy now?
Yes. So, Brandy, what are other methods besides 12 steps that you have used to supplement your recovery? I know the answer to a lot of these for you.
No, I was gonna say,
I'd say yeah, but we don't.
yeah,
I
I
was
was gonna
wondering if you were
say,
gonna break that out or not.
right when I was starting my notes
The
for it, I
answer
didn't
key.
know what the title really was, and so I put Beyond the 12 Steps, and then I was thinking like, man, that's
Ooh,
almost like I have a
I like that.
disadvantage because Nicolette's
Brandy, you're
she's my
screwed.
sponsor.
Brandy, you're screwed. If you don't answer them right, if you don't answer them the way you did a year
No,
ago, you're screwed, bro. You're done. You got more paperwork
no,
to do.
it really just
Not
shows
that
like
kind of sponsor.
I
yeah,
love you. I'm just
right.
joking. I'm just
You
joking.
know, because for me, like the 12 steps are definitely a huge part of my recovery. They are. But I know and understand that's not all of my recovery. And when I continue into my recovery, like keep going, it's not just going to be the 12 steps, you know, and of course they'll always be there. And I love meetings and I do love step work a lot, but there's so much more. And so, like when I first started going to meetings, it was, I think you had put on their Celebrate Recovery, but it was Project 180, which is like an all recovery. So there was all different kinds of people there, not just like drugs and alcohol. That's huge. You know, that's like a solid foundation of my recovery was going there. And then Nicolette and I have done like a Genesis process, which I gotta say, and we're doing I always say it wrong, so I had to write it down. Emotionally healthy spirituality. I always say it backwards for some reason. But when we did the Genesis process, it was like one
For
of
those of
the
us
most
who don't know, explain the Genesis process.
it's just like I don't really know how to explain it. I guess it's for me it was a workbook, and I know it was way more than that when Nicolette first did it. But it's you go through because there you go.
Okay.
So and it is powerful in so many ways, you know, like there's so much behind my addiction and my behavior than just me picking up. And so but I've learned a lot about myself. And some of the stuff I don't think I could have gotten that deep in with the 12 steps. You know, like they get you deep, but there's so much further you can go into knowing yourself and the layers of all of it. So I'm extremely grateful to have the opportunity to be able to dive into those. And I've even pulled some pages out of that book and done it with sponsees. And because it's just such good stuff. And like I thrive on anything that is spiritual that's going to help me in my recovery. 12 steps of course is part of it, but there's so much more. I haven't mastered meditation, but you know what I do? I paint rocks. I got lots of paintings and lots
That's
of painted
meditation.
rocks. That's how I do it. And like I got to start giving stuff away. I don't have room on my walls anymore. I got a bunch of
You
rocks
gotta
I'm going to
leave
take to
them in
town.
places. You need to leave them in
Yeah,
certain
I'm gonna do
places so
that.
people can pick them up and
Yeah,
put like a little message on there, and then people will keep them in their
yeah.
house. You never know.
So,
Ooh,
because
yeah.
My mom does that.
it centers me in a lot of ways. You know, it really, really does. And of course, prayer does. That's for me. I always joke and say like I pray to God like the way I talk, and so we're homies. Let me just say it like that. But
That's
I'm
beautiful.
just grateful for like there's so much out there, and I know the great thing is I know there's even so much that I haven't even touched yet. Like I love podcasts, man. I love this podcast,
Me
but
too.
I was never into podcasts before, and now it's like you know it's can just keep me going and going and going. And books like I never read a full book before recovery. And I've even read books that weren't recovery, which so I didn't like have to read them. I got to read them. And that really, you know, that keeps me moving in a lot of ways, you know, it's no matter what kind it is, really. But there's so many different ways. Like I said, the ones that I've touched on, but there's so many that I haven't even discovered yet. And I'm grateful to be able to see it and like be a part of any of it today because I didn't, you know, I didn't know that I would be clean. I didn't know I'd want to be clean. I didn't know I would love myself the way I do today. And a lot of it is, you know, the outsource that we can rely on for recovery besides the 12 steps. You know, like 12 steps are my meat and potatoes. Like I definitely stand firm on those, but it's not my whole recovery at all. And so, and I'm grateful for that. That's it. That's my answer.
Boom.
Love you, Brandy.
Love
Andy.
you,
You're a
Brandy.
pro.
Could you repeat the question, please, for
I
me?
will repeat it for you. What are the other methods besides 12 steps, Milan, that you have used to supplement your recovery?
Okay, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, okay, first of all, I would say getting good sleep. Like I
Mm,
say this on so many episodes, but getting good sleep, eating better food, exercising, and I will group yoga with that, although I do feel that yoga is almost like half meditation, uh half unwinding. Like, I don't know what drugs you
Mm,
guys did exactly all the time, but my drugs left me really knotted, and I feel like I'm
yeah.
still undoing the knots of yesteryear. And
Yesteryear.
yesteryears, yes, or
I like that.
yesterdecades. um you know, the program led me to, but has been only a very small fraction of my extensive endeavors into the world of surrender.
Mm,
Like, it's really been a lot of Michael Singer this year, another writer. Like, there's just been a bunch of different influences for me that have been working with surrender, external to the 12 steps. I'm giving the 12 steps the credit for planting the seed of me needing that
yeah.
to go in that direction. But there's other people who say a lot more than any of the literature says about it, and also gives better examples for me of how to work with it and how to see my part in that. And then also, gratitudes, like actually praying gratitudes. That is like a massive part of how like a muscle that I flex that reframes my universe on a regular basis. And, trying to stay in that state of gratitude and love. Like, I do those posts because I want other people to feel love every day. And I
Mm,
think there's a lot of lonely, crappy feeling people out there, you know? And the reality is that I do love y'all. So, like, what the heck? Why not let you know? Like, one of the things, so another thing I'm doing is two-way prayer. And one of the questions I ask all the time is, how can I love more completely? And so inside that, one of the things that has come to me is displaying affection to people, and like
mm,
letting people know the amazing things you think about them all the time, because most people are really unaware of all this awesomeness, or even like mediocrely good things, like whatever it is. It's like showing people the positive things you're seeing in them. How often has that made you reframe yourself when someone else does it?
mm,
you know and so inside that, and then music and songwriting, like, my I was always a songwriter, and then it just got nuts in recovery last year. Like, this year I've toned it down. I'm probably going to just hit 250 songs, maybe 300 this year. It's
Only
like,
just that's it.
300.
That's
Only.
it.
oh, well,
That's
it was
all.
Ridiculous.
1138 last year. Like, that was it.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
but
This guy.
but
Dang.
what I want to say about that is, first of all, my first sponsor, he was of native background, and he said that the highest form of prayer is song. And when he said that, that was kind of part of what really opened me up to directing my songs about recovery, because it lets me digest and then listen back to my philosophical understandings of what I'm learning. Like, how I put the words together isn't just for a rhyme, it's how I'm seeing the process of the recovery and my perception. And so it, but like, saying it right now doesn't give me a chance to fully reflect on it. Like, sometimes I'll listen to a song a month later and be like, never singing that again. Never singing. Like, I'm just like, not there, not now. And that's okay. And then I got a new sponsor a few weeks ago, and one of the things that she turned me on to, which is rapidly changing my perception about the entire universe, it's called A Course in Miracles. And so I'm like listening to the dummies version of A Course in Miracles right now. There's two ones, and there's a lady, Marianne Williamson. Mind blowing, like mind blowing, that lady's intelligence and able to communicate so directly. Like, the thing I'm listening to is like two live talks from her, and to see somebody say as clearly and efficiently as what she did in that, I'm like, this woman is a genius, like unbridled,
Mm,
channeling the universe, powerful genius. Something I was doing last winter when I was still going to the bigger city for my other meetings was Dharma recovery, which, that's, like the Buddhist one. And the reason I started to do that was because I always recalibrate myself when friends have relapses, and a friend of mine had a relapse at the end of October last year. And my recalibration of my program was that I wasn't praying or meditating enough. And I thought, well, Dharma would give me a good chance to learn more about meditating, because I just don't feel that I don't feel that anybody's been a really great meditational teacher to me up until the last while. And then that took me into like guided meditations. And then I would say self improvement books and podcasts. And I feel like I just talked for a long time, but maybe I just talked really fast. I'm
Mm,
not sure.
mm,
But
Both.
both,
That's
yeah.
great
Okay,
though.
there we
No,
go.
That
yeah,
was
Sorry about
beautiful.
that.
It was
good.
beautiful. That was all
But,
beautiful.
but you know,
Yeah.
that's anyway, that's me. And now to you, Nicolette.
Now to me. So yeah, I've used a bunch of different 12-step methods in my recovery, and I love listening to you guys share about the stuff that you have found helpful. Much of mine is the same. For me, of course, Genesis process. I think I was sober 9 years when I started Genesis process, and I had heard of it, but I just hadn't actually done it. You have to have somebody who's certified in Genesis process counseling in order to do it, usually. And so it wasn't until I was in transitional housing and I was told I had to do it. And I was like, yes, I can't wait. And what it did for me was it hit on pieces of recovery that 12 step hadn't touched in 9 years of sobriety. It talks in there about it, there's a whole chapter on beliefs, and it talks a lot about what we believe drives how we behave. And if we change our beliefs, it will change our behavior. And
Mm.
I had a lot of beliefs that were underneath my behaviors that I really didn't even know were there. A lot of it is subconscious. And there's a quote by Carl Jung, who actually was, a big influencer of Bill W., who created the original like parent program. AA was very influenced by Carl Jung, and he's also influenced a lot of the other people that I've read. And one of my favorite quotes from him is. Uh, what is it? Oh my God, why am I forgetting it right now? Until we make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate.
Mm.
And
Okay.
and so we have this unconscious system that we're running on, right? And until we make those things conscious, they continue to drive our behaviors. They continue to drive all of the things that we believe. And so, what Genesis process did for me was it helped me realize all of these unconscious beliefs that were underneath my addiction, and not just my addiction to drugs and alcohol. Like I said, I was 9 years sober when I got into this program, right? It had nothing to do with drugs and alcohol for me. I thank God for the 12 steps because and I thank God for my addiction because it taught me about 12 step, but 12 step is a tool for everyone. Every single person can benefit from using 12 step
Mhm.
or any one of
Sure.
these other programs. Um, Nobody is any different. Addiction shows
Yeah.
up in a million different ways,
Yep.
right? And so for me, it was super helpful just to learn like what are these beliefs that are driving my behaviors. My anger was a super helpful one to learn about, and it talks about how anger is just as powerful, more powerful actually than heroin. It activates the same centers in our
Mm.
brain
I've
that
heard that
drugs and
before.
alcohol do.
I've heard that
Um,
before.
yeah, yeah, and
Mm,
it's just as addictive. And
Yeah.
mm.
that was the one that hung on so long for me. I had this belief that I couldn't get rid of it because I had tried so many times and failed. And so that workbook was the beginning of me learning how to do that. It has tools in it. There's one thing in there called the double bind, right? And it's a very useful tool because it just asks you, it's you write it down, right? We talked about the magic of writing things down. And you write down like what happens if I do change this thing that's causing a problem in my life, and what happens if I don't change it. And you
Mm.
get to look at those tools, and then, is one of the things it says in there is what is the right thing to do? And the right thing to do is usually the hardest things to do. And it made me conscious of what are the choices that I have. And if I make this choice, what's going to happen? And if I make this choice, what's going to happen? Um, and so it
Yeah.
was just really helpful for me. Some of the other things that have influenced me greatly in my recovery, Gabor Mate, amazing book in the realm of hungry ghosts, right?
Mm.
This is probably the best book I have ever read on addiction in my life. This man is
Bournemouth.
incredible. And Marianne Williamson, also incredible. But she doesn't have this depth of knowledge on addiction. And this man is a doctor and he's worked with addicts for years. And, one of the things that I really feel is a problem in 12-step recovery, as we talk about in the big book, in AA anyway. I haven't really heard this in NA, but how alcoholism is an allergy. And we have science now that shows that that's not necessarily the case, right? And if you dig so much deeper, there's so much more. And what Gabor Mate's theory is uh, that it's trauma, right? Trauma is the cause of addiction. It's the main cause of addiction. Addiction is, we call it a spiritual malady, which I believe that it is. But he talks about it not just as a spiritual malady, but as a relational malady. Like we don't know how to relate to people, and that is why we use and drink. We don't know how to solve problems. We don't know how to
Yeah.
heal our trauma. We don't have the tools that we need. And so, like, if you can give people these tools, it changes everything. And oh God, I mean, I could talk for so long about all these things, and I know that we're gonna touch on a lot more. And I mean, there also, the Dharma recovery thing is great. There's a website called Refuge Recovery that is also Buddhist recovery, and there's all these different guided meditations on the Refuge Recovery website, and they're amazing. Meditation has changed my life for me. It's one of the biggest things, and it took me a long time in recovery. It was probably 8, 9 years sober, right when I started doing Genesis, that I really started making myself meditate. I always prayed, but I always had to pray out loud, and I was always asking God for things, right? And it wasn't until I learned to just be quiet and listen and
Mm.
learn to meditation for me is like learning to shut off my brain, because my brain has always been like this overactive thing, and learning to quiet that inner craziness inside of me.
Yeah.
And when my brain won't shut off, now I know how to turn it off, right? Like when I practiced turning it off when things were not bad, then when things get really bad, I have the practice and I know how to go, okay, things are bad. I'm going to stop.
Mm.
I'm going to
Like
turn
that.
this off. I don't need to react like this. And it has given me the space to respond, where for 9 years in recovery, I went from 0 to 100 so quickly in
Mm.
no seconds flat. And it's been meditation that has taught me how not to do that. It's manifested some really beautiful things in my life. And I listen to a lot of, I'll go to sleep listening to Joe Dispenza or Alan Watts. I'm hoping that it just like penetrates my brain when I'm sleeping now. I don't know if it
It
does,
does. It
but hey.
does. It does.
Right?
It's I would say my life has improved greatly since I started doing it. So I'm gonna say maybe it does.
It does.
Yeah.
Um, I really think that knowledge and wisdom are acquiring those things, learning this lifelong love of learning.
Yeah.
If you can develop that, you can go so much farther. And like, I truly believe that 12 steps is wonderful. It's the best place you can start recovery.
Yeah.
Absolute best place you can start. It's free for one, and a
Yeah.
lot of us do not have, when we get sober, we don't have a lot of financial resources. So free is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's free. It teaches you discipline. It teaches you, I mean, Andrew spoke to a little bit how, the meditation and prayer thing, like that was something that started, we're told that to do that in early recovery. It teaches you how to relate to people.
In the
You want to learn how
steps.
to resolve
Mhm.
conflict? Go to a business meeting. Like,
Oh yeah. Amen, sister. Amen, sister. Let's
Oh
go.
shit.
get
Yeah.
in service and
Mhm.
go to a
Yeah.
business meeting. I would say that's
Yeah.
probably the best place I have ever learned to resolve conflict.
Your
Is because
final
you're in
exam.
there with people. Yeah, nobody
So
agrees.
true. So
Yeah.
Final
true.
exam.
So
Yep.
true. Yeah.
To graduate
So
college, come to a
true.
business meeting. Let's
No.
go.
It's,
Yeah.
Mm.
I never thought
um,
about it like that. I never thought about it
yeah,
like that because I should take that outside of the business meeting and resolve conflict because
Mi-
it's
yeah.
yeah, that's
Miss
funny.
Nicolette, you think about how when we were still in our mother's stomachs, we used to hear music and relate to certain music, and then we would dance in our mother's stomachs. Like we absolutely hear things when we're sleeping. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
It soaks in. We hear it. We absolutely do. Whether you think so or
Absolutely.
not, I
Yeah.
I
guarantee
think
it.
so. They
Yeah.
used
Guarantee
to
it.
make tapes like when I was a kid. I remember like the subliminal tapes you were supposed to put on when you were going to bed. You are going to
Yeah.
quit smoking. Yes,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you will not enjoy cigarettes. I remember. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
do you got question number 2 to start with Brandy this time?
Yes, I do. Hold on, let me scroll
What if
back
she
up
wants to still call on me first because she likes
Ain't
me?
happening.
here.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. What if she wanted to do
Milan
Do
that?
says no.
it. We're
I'm not
rotating.
allowed. Okay. Brandy, what are the benefits and limitations of 12-step recovery, in your opinion?
Ooh.
Man, well, we've kind of already touched on it too, but like the benefits for sure are, um, I know for myself, like I never been a part of anything, that I had to like put my all into, or maybe I never have, I never wanted to until the 12 steps and I knew that I wanted something different in my life. And I feel like for me, is it like it is the big foundation of it. It's like it taught me like the tools that I have today, the fellowship, how to resolve conflict, but how to do things on a day to day, in recovery, do things differently. Because like I used for 30 years. And so for me, it's like I always use the analogy, it's like putting on my pants different. Like I only know one way to do it. So I need to like try to do something differently. And so that right there is like it's a huge, huge part of where my love and my drive comes from. But I do think that there's the limitations on it, as in like all the stuff that I've been able to dive into that's not the 12 steps. Like I would feel like I'd be seriously missing out if I didn't have opportunity for something like that. I mean, I'm sure I would still, stay clean just 12 steps, because it's not just that, it is more than just 12 steps, but I don't want to just be clean. I want to grow, and I think that when it gets to like the how and why and the what's behind and like the center, I think that it does have the limitations on it because I mean, I guess it all depends on how you do it because you can go as deep as you want in these 12 steps or not, or just go the surface like it shows. But I think that it doesn't have as much opportunity. And that's why it's great that there's all these other sources to be able to do that. So I guess in one thing, it's not so much of a limitation as long as if you kind of if it's both part of your recovery. So for me it's like it's not one or the other, it's both. And I don't know if I would want to do it any other way because I think they both bring so much to the table, as in like anything that's outside of the 12 steps and the 12 steps itself. And you can, like you were saying, you can work those 12 steps on anything. Like I know that for sure. I've done it on sugar and I lasted 86 days. It's still a struggle today, but yeah.
I remember when you did that.
Yeah,
I do too.
man, I know. That's how I know I can never use drugs again. Because when I ate sugar after 86 days, I was like, only this one time I'm gonna do it. Oh, I'm gonna do it only on the weekends. Starting Monday, no more sugar. What does that sound like? Sounds like someone trying to get clean. And so though it's
I
still a
remember
struggle,
you
I know
like
for
I remember you like sharing about it and like force sharing about how you were like stoked about all these things that didn't have
yeah,
sugar. Like,
yeah,
but it was
yeah.
like, no, no, it
No,
was
it's
good. It was
hard
beautiful. It was
though.
beautiful. It's
Yeah,
it's
it's a
part of your
hard one.
process, man.
Yeah, and it sure is. And but you know what? I got the tools today to do it. And but I think that when it comes to the limitations, I think that it can be um this a surface a little bit, and I want to go deeper. Like I want more than just the tools. I want to add to those tools. I want to be able to go deeper inside of me and like how can I do things differently? How did I do things wrong in the past, or am I doing things wrong today? Like I want to know more about myself. And since being in this program, like I definitely am a more spiritual person anyways. I've never really called myself religious, but if someone asked, I would probably not say I was religious, but like, I'm Christian, but I am way more spiritual. It's not, like it's
Not
such
saying
a
I'm religious.
I'm
lame
glad you
answer.
laughed.
It
I'm glad
really
you
is.
laughed.
It
I was
really is
trying
a
not
lame.
to.
It's really is a lame answer because
That was so funny.
yeah,
Definitely not
yeah,
religious. I'm Christian. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because
Well, I
Christian
mean, like
ain't a religion.
I'm not gonna throw a
let's
book at you. Is what I'm trying to
go.
say.
Let's go.
I'm not hardcore.
Yeah.
So, but it's like I think saying just a Christian, I just don't think it's. I don't know. I think it's kind of a. I don't know. It's more than that for me. And but it's from, being able to dive into other things besides 12 steps. I'm grateful that God, in my understanding, which is God is in all of it, but there's so much more to offer. And so like let it just be the beginning. It doesn't have to be the end for it, like this isn't all the tools we have. So yeah, I'll leave it right there. I love you guys.
I love that.
Brandy.
That was
Brandi.
great.
I'm about to
Okay,
throw a
dude.
Bible at you.
Woo!
Okay. Milan.
Yes.
What are the benefits and limitations of 12-step recovery in your opinion?
Okay, the benefit, I'm alive. Like, first of all, it saved my life.
That's dope.
I absolutely would probably not be here without it right now.
Yeah.
And not saying that something else can't work for somebody else, but it was the only thing that put me on the path of being straight and being happy ever. And it taught me about learning to live presently, like, and gave me tools so that I was able to push off the past and stop the future in a big way. Like I'm not perfect, but I'm saying I am right here, right now, a million times more than I ever was. And like, I think sometimes my happiness pisses people off. Like they're like, "What the hell?" And I'm just like,
It
"Sorry."
does.
Yeah, it's all right. And you know what though? That like it brought serenity to my life. Contentment, joy, and most of all, freedom. Like the benefit of
Freedom.
freedom. Like I'm telling you, like this morning, I was just like, I feel love and freedom. I feel love and freedom. And if I'm just like walking around in a state of love and freedom, man, that's pretty fucking good. It's helping me to learn to love more completely. Um, it started my path on my learning to surrender. And it fundamentally showed me that my perception and my preferences were causing almost all of my pain.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
that,
That's
that in
good. That is
itself,
good.
like when,
Perception and preferences. I love it.
Yeah.
yeah, like it was just like, and I always was externalizing it before then. Like I really truly was. I did not have the tools that like I am so fucking checking out that Genesis thing. Like I was
You
already,
should.
oh yeah, like I'm like meant. I got the note. I
It's
got it written on 3 things right here, right now. Good, like
yeah,
yeah.
I love it.
Um, and then I think for limitations, there's more benefits than that, but that's all I could come up with it in my brain right now. But the limitations is that agnostics are put off by the verbiage, like flat out. I stayed the fuck away because it said God for a long, 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 long time. And when they say, "Oh, it can be your higher power," then I'm like, why don't you change all the fucking God words to higher power? Because they don't. Like, it's just not like, it's like, hey, well, why don't you just say higher power all the time? Well, it's just easier for us to do this sometimes. And I'm like, that ain't fucking easier for the people who can't deal with it. Like it's just not.
Yeah.
It's not a fully choose your own thing because you call it God. Like right away, that labels it. And for people who had a really hard time from their childhood, like me, that it is a limitation on it. I know that there are people dying because it says God. And anybody wants to dispute that with me, wasn't at the hospital when I died, so fuck off.
Yeah.
And then I think
Yeah.
I think that one of the things that it's really, 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 really lacking on is the combination of mind, body, and spirit. Because
Mhm.
for me, it's just like there is nowhere that says, "Hey, man, fucking put down that fucking coffee cup. Put down that fucking cigarette. Like, get yourself in shape. Like, you're gonna not feel good if you never take care of yourself. Like,
Yeah.
if we don't make this vessel something worth, like, feeling good about, it's not gonna feel good. Like, it
Yeah.
really, for me, has been stages of, like, it took me 6 months to quit the cigarettes. And then it took me about 6 months to really activate my physical exercise on that. But it's just like right now, I am getting, probably half of my peace from moving my body and and contentment from that. Like
Mm.
it's just like I feel good because I'm being good to me. And they don't wrap it all up. They're just like, hey man, you're gonna have a spiritual awakening, you're gonna stay alive. And it's like, guess what, man? Some guy eating fucking 5 pounds of sugar, like 350 pounds, and he's like, I'm not feeling good about myself. I can't get my
Yeah.
spiritual awakening. Like it's just like, man, he's got no chance. You got no chance
Mm-hmm.
because you're not like flowing.
Mm-hmm.
Like and I'm not blaming somebody who's overweight. What I'm saying is that it's like for me, I had to start walking slow. And then walking slow became walking fast, and now I'm going up stupid hills that I never fucking thought I'd be doing it. Like, but the
Yeah.
the thing is that it's just like what I personally have realized is that for me, with my 37 years of abuse, I really have to flush these pipes with high flow and blood speed. Like I have
Mm.
to. Like it's the only thing that takes that plaque off that was keeping me feeling like shit and coughing out decades of cigarettes and drugs out of my lungs.
Yeah.
Like, and they just barely talk about that in the program. And I just feel like what we are carrying this spirit in requires a lot of maintenance for me. And that's all. That's what I got. I love you
Yeah. That was
guys.
beautiful.
Love you, man.
That's awesome.
Sizzling.
Yeah.
Don't be
All of that.
dropping mics on us, man.
Right?
Doop doop
Come on, man.
doop doop.
I'll
Uh,
take that question. I believe it's my turn, right?
No, it's Nicolette, then you.
Okay,
And we're
cool.
gonna keep going in that same
I'm
circle.
on. Yes,
Just
that's
to make
perfect.
it confusing.
Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of nonsense, and I love it. I love it. I love it.
Okay, so with benefits and limitations of 12-step recovery, benefits, I'll echo Milan in that it saved my life. It really is, in my opinion, 12-step recovery is so easy to access.
Mm.
You can hit a meeting online anytime. You can find meetings in just about any town definitely in this
Country.
country and other countries too. Sometimes it's hard to find them in like small towns and can be hard to find good ones in small towns, but it's not hard to find a good online meeting for
Mm-mm.
sure. And it put me in contact in a time in my life when I didn't have a single friend who was sober, right? I had no sober friends when I got sober. None. I didn't know any sober people, dude. Uh,
Right?
yeah.
I I was not in a group of happy sober people till I went to treatment ever
Yeah.
in my life.
Yeah.
I didn't think they
Mm.
existed.
I was like, what?
I didn't
You're
either.
all
Yeah.
straight and you're laughing and having fun.
That's all I
So
knew.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, it put me in contact with sober people. I've built the best friendships. I mean, every one of you guys in this podcast today, I've met
Yes.
through recovery meetings, and I adore you all. And my best friends, the people that are closest to me in life today, are people who are in recovery and actively working 12-step programs.
Mm.
Probably not just 12-step programs. A lot of them do other things, but like those are my people. They're the ones that show up when I gotta move. They're the ones that show up
Yeah.
when something happens with my kids. They're the ones who show up when my heart is fucking breaking. Like they're the ones that show up when I can't show up for myself. I can walk into a meeting, and I mean, I've walked into meetings. Man, there was a period in my life where I walked into meetings and I could not pray for myself. I didn't even know if I was going to stay sober. And people just surrounded me with love and they carried me when I couldn't walk. And that is a point where 12 step is so strong.
Yeah.
Even the online meetings, meeting makers for sure. And then I have another
Woo
meeting that
woo.
I go to. There is a solution. Um, those two meetings, man, people text me from those meetings, gratitude lists regularly. If I don't show up for a long time, they're like, "Hey, man, where you been? How you doing? You okay?"
Yeah.
And they're just online meetings. People will call me. It's amazing to me how connected
Mm.
you can be. I mean, all four of us live in completely different parts of
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
in different states or
Milan, live in a
Yeah.
provinces.
different country.
Right.
I might as
Yep.
well be an Eskimo.
Yep.
Might as
Yep.
well.
Yep.
That's
And
funny.
yet you can build these relationships that sustain and fulfill and build you up all the way across the country. And it's a miracle. And that is a point where 12 step is strong. It teaches you how to resolve conflict when you go to business meetings. It teaches you about service and what it means to get out of self and to help another person. My sponsor used to always tell me, like, if you're feeling like crap, go help another alcoholic, right?
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
get out of yourself. It taught me how to do that. It taught me how to get out of my selfishness. It taught me how to learn to look at myself and admit my wrongs. And you
Yeah.
can't change a problem, any problem, alcoholism or anything else in your life, if you can't admit that it's there. Uh,
Yeah.
and 12 step taught me how to do that, right? And it taught me love. Having my first, fourth, and fifth step, when I got, down and dirty with all my deepest, darkest secrets, and my sponsor listened to them all. And at the end of it, the first words out of her mouth were, "I love you." And I
Mm.
thought,
So powerful.
I thought,
Mm.
God, if she could love me after hearing all of that, like, how much more a higher power? And like,
Yeah.
I still think that when I hear somebody else's stuff, and I'm like, I love that person even more because they were vulnerable and shared. And I think, like, it's powerful. It's beautiful. It maybe is the most beautiful piece of my life. Like, there is nothing more spiritual to me than sitting in a meeting and listening to lives being changed. And
Yes. Yes.
uh,
Mm-mm-mm.
yeah, I mean, I've been to a lot of church services, great, wonderful ones, different types of churches too. I'm not talking just Christian churches. I've been to a bunch of different ones. And it's beautiful. Like, it's the most spiritual thing that you'll ever see, that I've ever seen anyway. And all those things are beautiful, but I think some of the limitations, uh, you know, for one, a lot of the literature is out of date. It's not scientifically correct. We have information now that could help people go so much further in recovery, but nobody will change it because there's all these old
Yeah.
timers in there who are like super against change, right? And they're like, well, we can't change it. It worked for me. So, like, if we change it, it will never work for anyone. And instead of like having this openness to like letting the spirit come and like move and change, and letting this new information and knowledge that we've gained over the past 50 years since these books were written become part of it as well.
Yeah.
I think that we miss something in this refusal to change anything. And I do know that they did just like update a plain language book, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
One of,
Yep.
I,
you're going to say something, Milan?
I'm gonna say, have you read it?
No. Have
Okay.
you?
Yeah, I've done like a book study on it, and
Is it
like,
good?
I don't think so.
Oh, you don't like it?
Actually,
Okay. I
I
haven't
don't
read it.
think it will save as many lives. To be quite honest,
Yeah.
Really? Oh,
I really
interesting.
feel that you know what, as confusing as some of the verbiage that Bill W. had might have been to the modern day person, the way that they kind of like explain it and dumbed it down, it loses a lot of the power of some of the powerful parts. And I think
Oh, I
people
don't
will
like
just be
that.
like, "Oh, well, I guess that's not that important." Like it's not the same. It's not the same impact at certain parts. I
Wow.
really think they made a mistake with it to be honest, from my opinion. And you know,
Okay.
like I totally was stoked when they were doing it because I do think that that the way it was inaccessible to young people completely.
Yeah.
But
How about inaccessible to women completely? It's
oh,
Yeah.
like
no,
Yeah.
no, okay,
that's my biggest beef.
oh,
Yeah.
it was so sexist. It's ridiculous. I just
Yeah.
hit those chapters and I'm like, we're skipping this just from my sheer being raised by ladies. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Love
Dude,
that.
yeah.
that's my biggest beef. Really, like as someone who's come out of a system of patriarchy through some massive abuse, emotional, spiritual, and physical, and knowing not just for myself, but being someone who's, been passionate about advocating for other people and in a lot of advocate groups for domestic violence. The fact that that is all male, and not only is it only addressed to men, but they always refer to God as a man. And
Mhm.
it's so like it just is my biggest. It irks on me hard. And
They
it
Mm.
have a
didn't used
chapter
to.
called "To the Wives."
I Yes.
Yes,
Like,
that's
Yeah.
great.
like,
That's
come on,
crazy.
come
That's
on.
wild.
Like,
And
I
To
not
the
just
just,
apply to
others,
men
to
that
the
are married to
others.
women alcoholics either.
I won't
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
like. I'm telling
Mm.
you that I don't like. I'm gonna send
That's
my
what makes me
sponsees. I'm like,
cringe.
we're
It
too.
makes me cringe, bro. I don't even want to talk
Yeah,
about it. It's like, ugh.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
and that's just ridiculous. Like that's just ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think the
That's a
NA
good point.
literature is quite as bad. I don't have such
Mm-mm.
beef with the NA literature,
Mm-mm.
but I also haven't gone as
Yeah.
deep into
It's
NA
written
literature.
collectively. It's written by all of us.
Yeah.
It's not just
Yeah,
one
Yeah.
person. That's where it
that's
kind of.
better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Do you want to ask Andrew that question?
I do. Okay. So Andrew, hold on, I lost my question now. What are the benefits and limitations of 12-step recovery in your opinion?
I feel like I haven't talked in forever. Thank you for letting me talk. Okay. Whew. All
He
right.
was getting talked.
Hey, I'm just kidding. Hey, so and the first time you were here, I think I was just starting to get my muscles in terms of like acronyms, but I've blown it out the water since
Oh,
the last time
acronym
you've been on.
Andrew. Acronym
Bro,
Andrew's here.
I
Get
I
it.
had you have no idea. I don't know if you want to get your pen and pad ready, but I have blown
Yeah.
it out the water. There's a couple new ones that I know you'll take with you in your hat when you leave. The first one I want you to have, and I'll answer your question in just a second. These are very important. You know the normal ones for fear. I'm not going to go through the normal ones, but my new one, and these are ones that I've come up with. Future events already ruined.
Ooh, I like it. That
And
is
then
good.
there's another one in there for fear. Feel everything, act responsibly. That's a good one too.
Mm.
You know the normal ones. But so then I wanted to tell you this. So steps, I've told you the steps are solutions to every problem solved, right? I've told you that. Have you
I like
heard that
that.
one? And
Yeah.
if you're not using the steps, you're nuts. You're not using the steps, NUTS. You're nuts.
I did hear you say that one the other
My
day.
my other one for steps, this is the good one. This is the one you need to write down. Spiritual tools empowering progress.
Ooh, I
Mm.
like it.
I know you like that one. And then sin, you know what a sin, self-inflicted nonsense. When we're engaging in
Ooh.
sin.
I don't really, yeah, I don't really, I like
I'm
that
just
one. I
saying,
don't like the word sin, but if you're gonna call it
right.
self-inflicted nonsense, I can go with that. I can get
Yeah.
on board with
In
that.
your share, when you say, hey,
Yeah.
look, I'm engaging in self-inflicted nonsense, you don't even have to say the word sin. It's just like that's what it is, right? So, and then I'm gonna hit you with some more, but like this pause, pray and use step 11. I don't know if you ever heard that one.
No, but I like it.
Pray and use step
Yeah.
11. Peace. Positive energy always creates elevation.
I love that one.
Peace. And then another one for peace. Pray every day and cherish everything.
Ooh, I like that one.
And then another one for peace. Practicing empathy and conscious effort.
Oh, I like that one
I know you
too.
just like he
I've
probably
got
streamed
I
these.
can't even write that fast. Andrew, you got to email these to me.
I
I know you
will.
got
I will
Yeah.
do that. I will do that. I will do that. So I wanted to hit you with a couple. And this is and look, we're all working a program.
Anandrograms. That should be the name of your book. Anandrograms.
What does program stand for, Miss Nicolette? Program. People relying on God relaying a message.
Ooh, that's good. I
I'm
like
just
it.
throwing some heaters at you real quick. So what are the benefits and limitations? It's a great question. as I was pontificating on those things, it gives me, the good side, the benefits that I get is I get a structured routine. It gives me structure right off the
Mm-hmm.
bat. Um, it creates a like a predictable framework for me because I need to have that when I come in here when I'm not knowing what color the walls are and not caring what color the walls are. Like I need predictable framework for me to adhere to. I don't want to do a lot of thinking early. You know, I get accountability from the program. That self inventory, admitting my wrongs. Making amends, that whole process, and um, behaviorally, I can be honest. I can be honest with myself and other
Mm-hmm.
people. Finally, finally,
Yeah.
because everything I was doing, I mean, I was so full of shit in my active disease. I was so full of shit. Half of my brain consistently selling bullshit. The other half is consistently buying it, Miss Nicolette.
Mm.
Bro, I'm a good salesman. I'm a very good salesman. So, I can sell a ketchup popsicle to a lady in white gloves, right, on a hot ass
Yeah,
day.
I love that one.
So supportive, I get supportive social networks from this thing. Like even when I don't want to, I'm getting thrown into these WhatsApp chats and these network, these social things that I almost force myself into if I want to engage in this community and connection, which was what we get thrown at, community connection is the opposite of our disease. So I get a lot of supportive social networks, keeps me out of isolation. I have regular engagement in these meetings. I'm not just going to meetings and I'm being of service to these meetings, you
Mm.
know? Um, all that comes with like an emotional regulation for me. Like overall, right? I have an emotional regulation because I used to be so up and down. I used to be so, Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde. I mean, you didn't really know what you were gonna get. And that was all based on the drugs, really, how much I had, where I was at in the day, how I was feeling. Um, but I'm a lot healthier there in my emotional responses. Um, I talked about service, the 12 steps and that service structure and framework, right? It keeps me clean. And it's a
Mhm.
posture of the heart. Service is a posture of the heart. It equals love to me. It's how I give love to the fellowship that got me alive, kept me alive, saved my life. I would do anything for this fellowship in terms of service or especially for my home group. So I have a spiritual guidance now. I didn't have that then. I wasn't spiritual at all. I was running from him. I didn't want him to catch up with me because I wasn't doing anything right before. And now I have a guidance. I have a direct connection. I might not have all the answers, Miss Nicolette, but I have a direct connection in line to the one that does. And
Yes.
that's beautiful. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful to be able to wake up and talk to something that I have a good understanding with, and it talks back and gives me my answers. So my limitations though, over relying on the program.
Mhm.
I see a lot of people doing that, over relying on the program, just waiting for guidance
Mhm.
from the steps or their sponsors to answer all their questions before they do
Mhm.
anything. That's not how we do it, man. That's
Yeah.
not the best way to do it. For me, I'll keep it on me on that, man. Like, yeah, do everything your sponsor says, but don't wait till your sponsor tells you to do everything, right? Like act accordingly. We're all adults here.
Mhm.
We all have to have our own thinking process. And then if we're stepping out of line, that's when our sponsor comes in. Or if we don't know something, if we're not fully, you know, aware of the situation or all the everything about the situation and we need some guidance, that's when we would reach out. You should probably reach out to your sponsor before making a decision. And that's needed too, right? But not on everything. Don't wait for them to make all your decisions for you. They're not going to pay your rent. They're not going to do any of that stuff. They're not a bank. Um, I thought about this like there's a there's a chance that I could get too rigid in that process too, right? Like being too literal with the steps. Um, not allowing for any flexibility. I got to be flexible too. In with that, like as long as I'm working a program and I'm working the steps, I don't have to like do it in a certain amount of time. If you and your sponsor come up with some kind of time schedule, that's cool too. But like, don't force yourself to get all that stuff on paper. Like just let it come out and like just keep writing. Keep writing. Don't put a timer over on the desk and do it for only 15 minutes to
Mm,
get your step one done or whatever. Like don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Um, I could have like a limited focus on because like we're only in these fellowships, like in the 12-step fellowship, there's no like outside behavioral tactics, right? And that's a good thing as it relates to the program because we can keep it real cut and dry, right? Like it either is the program or it's not, but like a lot of us need a lot more than just the program, right?
yeah.
Like a lot of us need a little bit more than that. And I mean like therapists or some kind of outside help. Some of us have physical problems that we need outside doctors. There's a lot of outside help that a lot of us need. And we need to be open to that too. We can't just come in here
Yeah.
and think that this thing is just gonna create
Cure
this little
all.
vacuum. Recovery does not happen in a vacuum as much as we think it does.
Mm,
It doesn't. It doesn't. And you will like if you want to work this program, you want to stay clean, that will get shown to you really quick. Like it'll hit you in the face when you're not wanting it to early. But you'll learn. You'll learn from that. It was necessary for my process to be able to sit here and be able to talk to y'all about it today and with y'all about it. Um, there's a little bit of a potential for guilt and shame, like in those reflection steps, right? My steps 9, my 4, and my 9, right? I can overanalyze those and really get down on myself, right? If I'm not careful, if I don't have that sponsor that can back me up if I'm getting a little too violent in those steps, right? Because you can get a little out of whack with some of those questions with that self inventory, and it can trigger some guilt that we weren't ready for. If you start working the steps too fast, you start wanting to look, and this was my thought. They had us working the steps when I was in treatment. I wanted to work all of them in one night and be done.
yeah, me too.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, I want to
to mark the boxes. And I just want to be. I did it. I'm cured.
bro,
Right?
work on step one, I'm gonna do the
I
whole
turn
thing.
my will, I swear, it's gone.
Yeah.
Look,
I ain't
good,
got no
bro.
will.
It all down.
I know what everything is. I'm open-minded. I'm willing. Look, I'm healed.
Yeah.
Can I go home early? Can I go
Yeah,
home early? I
right.
did it. Like, can I literally, that was my mindset.
Yeah.
And like obviously we're in that environment for a reason because they can teach you that that's not the way it is. That's not what
Yeah.
we're doing here. And it's pretty cool. Like because we're learning all this new shit. Like we're learning all this again in our own way. Like as we're sitting in treatment
Yeah.
or we're doing whatever we're doing, man, it's uncomfortable. But like looking back at it, bro, like it was so necessary. So necessary.
Yep.
But if you don't let it happen in your own time, like you can have just delayed developmental responses towards some of these things, or over advanced. You could be too fast, right? Trying to go too fast or too low. You really just gotta let something else take hold, right? You can't do the
Yeah.
things the way you used to do them. You can't. You gotta change everything.
Change
You
everything.
know.
Yep.
Got to change everything. So that's where it is. I have a framework now behaviorally, right? Like and so I can stay on that good side of it as long as I'm staying tapped in to the fellowship and the other parts of not the fellowship, right? But I get thrown off track on either side of those things, and they usually
Yeah.
interact with each other in my head because I'm doing a lot of service. I do a lot of NA stuff. I have a lot of I'm ramped up for this recovery thing. Not so much outside though. That's something I'm working on. I got to get more motivation towards the outside of the NA stuff because I'm a beast when it comes to NA, right? Like I'm the hype beast. Like
Yep.
like we started a music
Hashtag
meeting.
LLA.
Like come to the music meeting. We got a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
Like I'm not stopping when it comes to that. But like my fiance and shit, she's talking to me and backing me up, and I do have to back up a little bit, and I have to get a little more motivation and a little more zest for outside of NA life.
Mhm.
I need to make a conscious effort to do that, like immediately. So that's my next thing. Love you.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you. That
love
was a
that.
Love you.
beautiful answer, or a beautiful question.
It was a
I
beautiful
think I
answer.
It was a
answered.
Really
beautiful
was.
answer too,
It was
Andrew.
both. It was
I
both.
love
All right,
it.
I'm out of here, guys.
Yeah.
Good night. See y'all.
He's like, I'm cured. I'm done.
Oh, I'm cured. I finished my steps in one night. I'm good.
Yeah.
No more
Yeah.
paperwork.
Oh God.
Okay, so Nicolette, do you want to ask me the next one?
I do. The next one,
I
I
feel
kind
like
of
we
want to.
almost hit that one with the
We
last one.
kind of already have hit that one and kind of the next one
I
too.
know,
I
I
kind
think
of want
so
to
too.
skip down a couple because I
Yeah,
feel like we've already hit a lot
I
of these
literally
categories.
was going to suggest that, so I am with you on that page because I was like,
Awesome.
I'm gonna kind of repeat myself here. Yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah,
are good. But
yeah.
this one I think is an interesting one. And I did write a little bit about how I feel about this one. And I'm
Mm.
interested to hear what you guys have to say too. Have you heard people in meetings claim that 12 step is the only way, or that if you stop going to meetings, you will relapse? If so, do you feel this is true or false, and why?
So definitely, I have heard some people say this for sure, and like I would not say it's the majority. Like I would say that but it seems like every group I've gone to, there's somebody that makes some kind of reference making this claim. Now, for myself, I've never stopped. So I don't have a comparison. Um, and here's the thing is that it's like like doing my program involves going to meetings. Like that's just part of what I was shown in treatment, part of what we did there. Like we did a meeting every day, whether we did an external one or not. We did one with us there. And I've done a meeting like probably every day but 30 days in my 2 years of recovery. Like
Mm.
so I don't know. But I'll tell you this, that it's just like I'm enjoying my life enough that why would I stop what's working? You know, like it's whether like I think this, I truly believe this is that some people can be self motivated, right? I, I mean, my job, I work from home. I don't go to an office. I don't go somewhere else. And I still manage to get my things done, right? Not everybody's capable of that. Like I've seen people put in positions where they have to steward their own ship and they crash and burn really fast.
Mm.
So some people need to go because that might be all the recovery they're doing that day. Like some people thrive on meetings only, and quite frankly, don't run a program. Like, oh yeah, I come to
That's
meetings,
really
but
true.
I should have been doing the steps 10 years ago. I don't know why I hate my wife and my life and like the weird shit like that where I'm
Yeah.
just like, I know why. You're not doing the steps. Like, you're not doing the steps. Like the real program is doing the steps. Nowhere in any of the books does it say you have to go to the meetings. Like the meetings
Yeah.
were merely how
Ooh,
the
good
word
point,
That
Milan.
is, yeah, that's really
You're
the
good.
blowing my
meetings
mind right now, bro.
the
Right?
meetings were merely how the ideology has been spread and perpetuated through sponsorship.
It's the
Like
best
as far as
vehicle.
True.
as far as I'm not being rude about this, but I put way more into my program external to meetings than meetings. Like I listen,
Earmuffs, everybody,
I
earmuffs.
spend more time in the day self-educating than I do, and I go to a meeting 6 days a week. Like I'm not,
Yeah.
there's one day I don't actually, and every other week I have a meeting at my house on that day. So I go to 6.5 meetings a week. You
Six
know,
and a half meetings a
Six
week.
and
well,
six point
because if you're
five.
dividing
Half.
14, but
Yeah.
Six point
Yeah.
five. Six
yeah,
point
well,
five.
because there's every
Technically.
other Saturday I
That's your
have
new
a
middle
porch
name.
meeting at
Your new
my
middle
house.
name,
So it's not
6.5.
every day of the
I
week.
love that. I love
But
that.
But so I do think that the people who are not working an active program, what what else do they have but meetings, right? Like, and so I like
Mm.
I honestly think that I could step back from meetings and I would miss the fellowship. I would absolutely
Yeah.
miss the fellowship. But I think that I think that I have enough of a grasp of the program that I could sustain my sobriety doing my program. But I really enjoyed the community. And there's nowhere else in society that's like, hey, sober people, let's all stand here. Like,
Please don't test that. Don't test that though, please.
I'm not going to test it. Like you missed part when you were gone.
I know. I'm
In
sorry.
that I said I won't even try that because what I'm doing is working.
Mm.
Like what I'm
Yeah.
doing is working. So I really don't really want to throw myself off that cliff because like also, you know, when people are like, "Oh, your addiction's in the parking lot doing push-ups," well, guess what? Mine might be like, "Hey, why don't you stop the fucking meetings? You got this on your own. Just go for it." And I'm like, "Hey, great idea!" And then all of a sudden, I'm like standing at a party or something. I don't know what'll
Mhm.
happen, but either way, I fear death enough to not want to die right now.
Yeah.
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 I won't let you.
That was awesome.
Mm. And Nicolette, you answer now.
That was beautifully articulated,
Right?
Holden.
Yes.
It
Thank you.
really, really was. The way that you put that and you prefaced it, and it was so well put in so
Yeah.
many different ways. I don't even know really how to follow that.
I know. Thank God you're next.
You beautiful
Like you
man.
already said
Beautiful
everything. What is
man.
there even left to say at this point?
It was a beautiful answer. It really was.
No, I mean the same with me. I have been in recovery since 2010, the very tail end of 2010. So I'm coming up on God willing 15 years in December.
Woo-wee.
Yeah.
I know her.
And
I know her.
Yep. We
and
friends.
We
yeah.
we hang out. We hang out.
That's right.
That's awesome.
And I haven't stopped going to meetings. So I guess, you know, much like Milan, I can't speak to whether or not, you know, what it would be like to completely stop. I have stopped. There have been periods in my life where I haven't made it to a meeting for a few weeks at a time, up to a month. There's probably been a couple periods in my life where I didn't go for 2 months at a time. And those were periods where everything was going good. It was probably like, you know, when I first got married or when I first had a baby. My life was busy. My heart was full of love for one reason or another. I wasn't feeling a lot of emotional pain. And I was able to go to meet or not go to meetings for a little while because I didn't have a lot of upheaval in my life. So I didn't really feel like I needed them. But the reality is, like, especially, you know, in this season of my life as a, you know, sober single mom who works from home, I don't have a lot of interaction with other people. And so I want to go to meetings. Those are my people. Those are where I hear the miracles and the stories that I love. That's where I see my friends. Like this is my life, built a life on that. And
Yeah.
it's a beautiful life and it's full and joyful. And I don't really want to stop going to meetings, but also on the other side of that, like, you know, Andrew even spoke to it a little bit. He talked about over reliance on the program. And there has been seasons for me where I have over relied on the program, where instead of feeling my feelings, I would go to a meeting. Where instead of learning the depth and the strength that is found in learning solitude and how to comfort myself, how to seek my higher power on my own, how to
Mm.
stand on my own 2 feet, how to feel the depth of my grief and still be able to remain sober and get back up at the end of it.
Mm.
um there's a balance there, right? I can't rely on the program to do that for me every time. And I think it's not good for me to, every time I have a feeling, have to run into a meeting.
Mhm.
And I have done that before, and to the point where it started to feel like an addiction to me. If you've got to go to 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 meetings a day, there's something wrong there, in my opinion.
What if you have
Yeah.
Meta Ray Bans? What if you have Meta Ray Bans?
What is a meta Ray ban?
And
Explain.
he just hears meetings everywhere he goes,
They're
like
his
the
glasses.
They're my
voiceover.
Yeah.
glasses.
Oh.
So I can literally have them in my ear, like so. I literally just I can have them in my ear. The podcast. I have something in my head all day.
Okay. I mean,
Like
I
I'm
mean,
but
I
I'm not
listen to
having.
a lot of podcasts too, so I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying if that's what you have to do to get through a day,
Yeah.
maybe, and what I guess what Milan said too really touched me is like I get so much more out of working the steps than I do from a meeting. And I'm not
Big
knocking
facts.
that. If you can't touch solitude, right? Like a lot of people come into this program and they're not at this point. They haven't been sober for 15 years, right? They don't know. They can't do that stuff. Maybe they do need 7, 8, 9 meetings a day. Maybe that's what they need, and that's awesome. Um, it's not what I want at this point in my sobriety. I think it might for early sobriety, it's definitely better than taking a drink. For
Facts.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But the reality is like what Andrew always says this, and I love it. Like the healing that you're looking for is in the work that you're avoiding. And if you're
The
avoiding the
Yes.
work
magic you're
by
looking for is in the work you're avoiding. Yep.
yep.
Yes.
Yes,
Hmm.
the magic. That's what it is.
Hmm.
And like if you're avoiding step work, like skip some of those meetings. Meet with your sponsor. Dig
Yeah.
underneath. Ask the hard questions and answer them. Write down all those things that are in your head. Like you can't I see people stay sober in meetings and it makes me sad because they're not getting the full benefit
Yeah.
if
There's
they're
so much
not working
more.
the steps.
Yeah.
And it breaks
Yes.
my heart. And some people just can't. And I get that. And
Yeah.
something is better than nothing. Something is always better than nothing. Whether we're talking about like half of a workout and like, couple 15 squats rather than going to the
Yeah.
gym for an hour, whatever. Something's always better than nothing. You're still going to
Nothing.
get
Yeah.
something out of it. So I would say, if the choice is between taking a drink and going to 15 meetings a day, then go to 15 meetings a day.
I
Yeah.
I
Totally.
see the people though that don't do the steps often become jealous of the people with
Yeah.
freedom
I've seen that
or
before too. And
resentful.
I
it's
was
their
saying
own
it. Yeah.
inner
You
struggle
can't
for
tell them nothing
sure.
about it either. You can't
But
tell them about it either. They
yeah,
won't hear shit.
yeah,
You can't tell
yeah,
what the steps experience is. You can't tell somebody what that feels like.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
Like I'd be like me saying, "Hey, an orgasm is like a really
It'd
good
be like
thing."
it'd be like
Like,
telling my mom like trying to explain somebody what a hit of heroin would feel like that's never done it. Like,
Yeah,
no, you
yeah.
can't do
yeah,
that. You can't.
No,
yeah,
you
Doesn't work,
can't.
man.
You can't.
Whew.
yeah.
And I
Deep
think for
shit.
me, one more thing that I
Hmm.
wanted to say on that, and then I'll pass it on to Andrew, is that like if we're motivating our recovery out of fear, I feel like that's wrong too, because I don't think that God ever works in
Mm,
fear. And for me, like
yeah,
if my reason for going to a meeting every day or never missing a meeting is that I'm afraid that, oh my God, if I miss a meeting, I'm going to relapse. Um, I feel like that's motivated out of fear, and I don't like that motivation. I don't
mm,
to me that there's something feels wrong about that. I want my meetings to be because I love being in a meeting, not because I'm afraid that if I don't go, I'm going to relapse. And
yeah,
I feel like there's something that we miss in there if we're not looking at why am I so afraid of that? Why do I not just want to stay sober? What is underneath that fear for me? Um, then we're missing part of the freedom of the program. So that's all I'm going to
You
say.
know,
I'm
you know what
passing it back
faith
to
yeah.
stands
Andy.
for? You know what faith stands for, Nicolette? Fear ain't in this house.
That's right. Not in this
I
house.
Fear ain't
Uh-uh.
in this house. Faith, right?
love that. I love
FAIT.
it.
Fear ain't in this house. And then another one, forwarding all issues to him.
Oh, I
Yeah.
like it. Can
She
we say
might
her
prefer her.
instead as a
Yeah.
Her
helping
or
hand?
her. Hey, you can
Yeah,
say that.
yeah.
Or forwarding all issues to heaven. If you believe in that, whatever you want to say,
Okay.
that's different too.
At first, I thought you
Yes.
said Heather, and that's my best friend. So I
That's
was like,
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's
I do
cool
that
too.
anyway.
That's cool. Heather, what up? What up?
Shout out to Heather.
Shout out
Answer
to
all the
Shout
Heather.
out to
questions.
Heather.
Yeah.
That's right. Hi, Heather.
Oh my goodness. Love
Okay.
it.
Yes, I so love it. All right, Andrew. This is a big one. Have you heard people in meetings claim that 12 step is the only way, or that if you stop going to meetings, you will relapse? If so, do you feel this is true or false, and why?
It's a great question. Very, very thought-provoking question. That my gut action answer to that is if you stop going to meetings, eventually you're going to be in a bad spot. From what I've seen and what I've witnessed, from the feelings that I get when I have had those couple times where I've stopped going to meetings for extended periods of time or small extended periods of time, like I feel off. I feel extremely off. And maybe that's just where I'm at in my progress, or my process. But I'd like to think that if survival came to the doorstep, like I would be able to survive and not use without going to meetings. Like, yes, I think I could. Do I want to see a world where that has to happen? No, not really. Not right now. I don't want to have to equip myself with the tool bag to do that. The meetings give me a lot of just serenity. Right? I get everything I need on both sides of the spectrum when I go into meetings, and I read those readings. I get prayed in and prayed out to get all the love I need. One dose, one meeting at a time, 1 hour, 2 hours at a time, whatever I need. But I think obviously I've been equipped with enough strength and compassion for myself. I think I could stay clean without going to meetings. Early on, my family used to ask me, like, "Are you gonna have to go to all those meetings for the rest of your life?" And I didn't really know what to say. Like I didn't really know, like, yes, no, I don't really know. Um, but now I understand, like I get to go to these meetings. I get to go to these meetings. Like I have a choice today, Miss Nicolette. I have that choice. I have a choice. As long as I don't pick up, I have a choice to go to meetings. And when I'm sitting in a jail cell or sitting in a hospital bed, like the only thing I'm gonna be thinking about is, damn, I should have just gone to meetings. Or even if I can't even have that thought process. So, yeah, it's just a beautiful thing like that. The meetings are what got me into service or what got me right to where I could go into public and do certain, like, get a job, be part of society. Service is what took me from like the addict to the NA member, right?
Mm,
Like I became a member through service.
Wow.
Like I was an addict, then I went and then I got in service, I became a member.
I love it.
I
And
do too.
and so I heard somebody like reference that way where it's like that I was an addict, and then when I as soon as I got enough service, I became a member. I became an NA member, a member of that fellowship. And so without going to meetings, I would just lose that constant reminder of where I came from, what it took back to get, to what it took to get me here, because it never ceases to amaze me, Brandy, like on our Sunday morning meetings or
Mm.
certain meetings, like I'll hear something, somebody will come in and share about how they're struggling, and I'll be running around my house like a nutbag going like can't find my shoes that I want, right? And I'm like thinking that's the end of the world.
I can't relate.
I'm ready to lose it, right? And then I hear like one of our good friends come in and share about just like they did this
So
morning,
good.
and it takes me. I literally I sit down and I just thank God for being alive and being in this position where I want to be in that meeting, and I heard that message. Like God speaks through people, Miss Nicolette. Our
True.
higher powers speak through people. I don't know what God's voice sounds like. I don't know what he sounds like, or she, or hit, whatever it is. I don't know what he sounds like. So I have to hear it from y'all. Like I gotta hear it in y'all's voice.
Mm,
All right. And that's my biggest source of like strength and courage is that message. Like you referenced it earlier, Miss Nicolette. People go to church to hear the message. I go to these meetings to hear that message and to get tapped in spiritually to that God of my understanding. I like to say that God put me in a position to be thrown into these meetings, whether I liked it or not, right? And that gave me the avenue to have a relationship with him.
mm,
He chose these meetings as the vehicle to meet him and to figure out who he was. And to figure out that I want something better for my life today, man. I don't want to keep doing that stuff that I was doing before, man. I wasn't doing anything right. I had nothing to offer this world, mentally or actually for real, whatever you want to call it. Like I was tapped out. And now I have a zest for life, man. Like I'm engaged now. I've got a stepson that calls me every night, tells me he loves me, and all he wants for Christmas is me as a stepdad. Like, are you kidding me?
Oh,
Like,
I love it.
it's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I couldn't have You know, they asked me in treatment to write on a piece of paper like if I could map out my perfect life, you know, what it would look like. And I remember writing something down where like I would work at a pawn shop or something. I don't even know what,
Yeah.
like some kind of retail environment, because I just wanted to like do something different. I didn't want to be like this
Yeah.
high sales environment. I was like just want to chill at a desk or like sit and just I think I did bread at pawn shop or something, but I think about it now, like I'm a licensed optician. I work at an eye doctor's office. I'm doing something totally different. I can now transfer to a whole nother state if I need. You know, I'm gonna have to do that because I'm getting married. Like this girl asked me to marry. She got on one hand and one hand of me
Yeah.
and asked me to marry her. Like it's
Dun,
just
dun,
wild.
Yeah,
dun,
I love
Uh,
it.
dun,
I could not have.
dun,
I
dun,
couldn't have came up
dun.
with that. I didn't think that that was in store for me. I didn't think I had done anything to deserve a life like that. But y'all told me every single day y'all appreciated me being there, and you said I had something to offer this world, man. And I believed y'all. So like to the Nicolettes of the world, like Brandi, y'all prayed me up in this room, man. Like I wouldn't even be here if y'all didn't pray me here. Like I'm fully aware of how special that is, man. And I'm not gonna I don't take that shit for granted, man. There's nothing you could do that will get me to unappreciate what the predecessors have done by praying me in these rooms and how many
Yeah.
thousands of prayers like it took for my sponsor and his sponsor and his sponsor to get him in there. Think about how many prayers it took to get us all sitting here right now.
Yeah. You
Crazy.
say that all the time too. Thank you for
It's
praying us in here.
crazy,
And I
man.
love that
Like
you say
Love
that. Yeah.
that.
I have my life to thank y'all. I have to thank y'all for my life for giving me my life back. And so like if I go back out, I'm risking that that's gonna happen again. And even if like I've said this before, even if y'all pray specifically for me if I were to go back out, that doesn't mean it's gonna hit my direct. It doesn't mean one of those prayers are gonna hit my way again.
Mm.
That's why I can't risk going back out. I put too much time and effort into y'all, and y'all put too much time and effort into me to let y'all down. I can't do it. So I think that's it. I think that's it.
Woo!
I think I
That
answered
was,
the question, man.
I think you did.
I think
Yeah.
you did. You got it,
How am I
Andrew.
gonna follow those?
I think
All of them.
amazingly because you're super awesome.
Yeah,
I
you
love
I
y'all,
believe
man.
in you, Brandy. You got this, girl.
Right.
Hashtag
I like to think
LLA.
so. That's right.
Okay, so Brandy, this one's for you, girl. How or have you heard people in meetings claim that 12 step is the only way, or that if you stop going to meetings, you will relapse? If so, do you feel this is true or false, and why?
So I don't think it's true. I mean, kind of like just to touch on a little bit of everything you guys said, like I think that for me personally, like I did the 90 and 90. I did more than 90, but like in the early recovery, like it was a must. It was a must. And today, like I just said, I get to. And like for me, uh I I enjoy them, I definitely enjoy them, but I don't have to have it every day. There's times I'm surprised, Andrew, you didn't say this. There's times like you sneak off to the bathroom to do a meeting instead of sneaking off to go do drugs. Like
Yep. I don't get
we
fired at
both
my job for doing
we've
drugs
both
in the
done that
bathroom.
before.
I just get in
Yeah,
trouble and talked to for doing a share in the bathroom now. I don't
yeah,
get fired
right. I
anymore.
know.
Oh my
Beautiful.
I've
God.
done that. I've had
Drug
people at my
test me.
house and
Drug test me. Hit me up.
yeah, I'm
That's
like, I need
great.
a minute, and I go hop on the meeting. But
I've done
I
it.
think
It's crazy.
that I don't I just go with it. I'm just going with the flow of it. Like I could do probably one meeting a week and still be fine in my recovery, but I'm gonna keep doing them. I don't feel like I have to do them every day. I don't normally do them on weekends because I got to have balance. Definitely have to have balance because if my meetings get in the way of my home life, then it takes away the value of the meeting for me, or it makes can create an argument, or like I can get resentments, or it takes away the quality time that I have with my family. But
Mhm.
it's and I also like what Andrew said, like it reminds me um of where I was, which is important to me. And it's not for any reason of like glamorizing or making myself feel bad. Like every day I get up like, holy shit, I got over 4 years. Like I never thought that I would do
And no
that, or that I'd want
choice.
to do that. Yeah. And so for me, it's like maybe one week I go a couple times, maybe the next week I go all week. But I don't think that if I stop going, I don't think I'll go use, but I think I'll be lacking something, definitely. And but I do like I have recovery in me one way or the other. I mean, yeah, the world of podcasts is huge. Like I said, I can't believe I didn't listen to them before I was in recovery. And, but I think that it's where you're at, like there's people that, like, I have family members that have been, in recovery for 30 years, and one goes to meetings constantly and like all the events, and then one goes a couple times a year. And both of them strive good in their recovery and in the way that they grab a hold of life and like do things. And so I think it is about the person, like you should never compare, like, well, that person goes to 6 meetings a week, so I should go to 6 meetings a week. And I don't think that it should be like that. Like, what is it is really what's driving me. Like, you know, um, I think I go to enough meetings that I don't ever say, oh, I need a meeting, because I've always kind of got it in my system one way or the other. But I don't want to think that if I stop that I'll go use. But it's a huge part of my medicine for sure. And and I'm grateful for it. Like service, I'm grateful to do service, one night a week now. Was in there 4 nights a week doing service. Andrew knows, like, we've both been a part of that big old, like, too much service. And it's great when I get to just be in the meeting too, because that kind of takes away from the meeting when you're doing the service, I think. Um, but it's being able to just balance things. Like, I have the tools, I have the tools to be able to decide, what I'm going to do. And I think that when I keep, to keep going, it's just those little reminders, like a refresher course, if anything. But it's something that, I don't want to think that if I stop going that I would use, but I definitely like it to be a part. Like I said, there's people out there that are in recovery that don't go. They've done it. And like my dad just said to me a couple weeks ago, he's like, "Do you still do those meetings?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "We always have to do them." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." I'm like, I even told him, I said, maybe I'll do whatever one week and one the next week, and I go, who knows? But yeah, it's always be a part of my life, Dad. And well, probably because, I mean, this could be another podcast. Probably because my mom never went any further than a certain amount, so he doesn't realize people go for a lifetime. But it's the program, it's the fellowship, it's the recovery and the growth. And if I get it from one meeting a week or 7 meetings a week, then that's where I get it. But it's not something that's going to take me out, I don't believe, just for today at least. But I'm grateful for it, because all the people that I've met, and like, you guys understand me. Like, I have love and support at home, but it's not the same. It's not the same as in, like, my husband said this a long time ago. I always reference to this because it's funny. Like, he's like, if you don't want to use drugs, don't use drugs. And I'm like, that's not how it works. And today I have a choice to not use drugs for sure. Like, I have that choice in front of me. But there was a time where I didn't have that choice. And like,
Yeah.
it doesn't work like that. And I don't want my addiction to think that choice is there, or that choice isn't there. But it's just being around people that understand the way my brain thinks. Like, we're all different people, but like, like, that's why I like to say I'm addicted to more, not just one thing. Like, I can go hard on
Morologists.
anything. Yeah, like anything. If I like it too much, like, I could go hard on it. So I try to stay with the things that are good for me because I'm gonna go too far. But I don't know. Like, I've gone, a week or so not doing a meeting because I was out of town, and I felt fine. I missed everybody, yeah, but I felt fine. And so it's something that I like to look at it that um I'll go to meetings however many days a week I go, until maybe I'll go less, maybe I'll go more. But I don't want it to define my recovery on the amount of meetings that I do. And but I like to always participate in them also. I like to talk. So I mean, I like to always try to put my hand up.
Yes, he does.
I do. I do. I don't like handless meetings, okay? I like everybody to put their hands up. And so, but
If
yeah, like,
I've been doing
yeah,
all
exactly.
in-person meetings, so
if
it's
there was
like,
two hands, she
yeah.
would put two hands up if there was two hands in the Zoom
Oh,
sitting.
And
he totally
do
would.
you ever go to in-person meeting and want to hit like the heart or the like button?
Yeah.
Like,
Right?
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, can I just like post it like heart? Oh, I love that. I love that.
Bring a
You
little
know?
heart sign to the meeting and hold it up.
And spotlight it for
Yeah.
everybody. Spotlight.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, that's how you know you gotta get out more.
Mhm.
But But I do, when it comes to like it's not the only way. It's a huge part of my recovery, and I would never tell somebody to stop doing meetings, or maybe you don't need them, and I think it's really where you're at in your journey, and trust it, because like I said, I did too many meetings before. I mean, not too many, but multiple. Like I felt like if I didn't do a meeting, man, I was gonna crawl out of my skin, and I don't feel like that today. But it's I feel good about it. Like I don't know. I love the fellowship. I love other addicts. I love other people that think the way that I thought nobody thought. You know, I thought I was unique, and I'm not. I'll leave it there. I'm special though.
You are
I
Yes.
love
special.
being amidst a fine collection of freaks. I love it. I
Yes,
love
Yes,
it.
yes.
I'm like,
yes,
I'm like,
Gotta
put
love it.
me in a
yes,
fine collection of freaks.
Misfits.
Yeah.
The
yes,
F troop.
yes.
Yeah. And it's just so
Right.
diverse sometimes that,
It really is.
yeah.
You have an
Okay,
acronym
Nicolette.
for freak, Andrew?
I don't. I can make one up
He'll
though.
have
I can
one up
get one.
before the
Freak.
next question.
I will. I will.
You
Yeah,
will.
yeah. Yeah, I'm already coming in with it.
Okay, you want to
Right?
ask the next question to yourself, Nicolette, to start
I
off?
do. I'm kind of thinking we might skip the next one because I think we've kind of covered a lot of our like takeaways, our most treasured takeaways. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
You
And
know,
we're getting
yeah.
short
I
on
like the
time, and it
last
takes
one.
us a long time to get through these questions.
I like the
Yeah,
last
that's
one
why I
That's
was
a
saying
lot.
this morning, I'm like, you've got plenty of good questions right here for the
Yeah.
whole thing.
I thought
Yeah.
this was an overnight event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have
Andrew's
kids
wearing
out
his
there waiting
PJs.
for me, Andrew.
I've got
I know.
I've got my sleeping bag and everything with me, man. I'm ready to go.
I would say ask whatever question you want next then.
Yeah.
I think maybe we'll just move to the spirituality question, and I think
Okay?
that'll
Yeah.
take us through the next
Yeah.
probably 15 to 20 minutes, and
Yeah.
then we're going to
Yeah.
be needing to wrap up.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um,
Let's do it.
okay. So the next question is, what role has spirituality played in your recovery? And for me, that's pretty multifaceted. Um, Spirituality is what got me walking through the door in recovery. I didn't get sober in a secular 12-step program. I got sober in Celebrate Recovery, which is a Christian 12-step program. And so when I first got sober, I was a single mom with a 2-year-old. And it was really hard to get to meetings. There was no online meetings back then.
Mm.
Online meetings were not a thing yet. If there were online meetings, I sure as hell didn't know about them. No one ever told me about
Yeah.
them. I never went to an online meeting until COVID. So when I was newly sober, the first place I knew to go, I didn't know really to go to AA. I'd been to AA and I hated it. The first place I knew to go was church, and I knew they had childcare. And so what I did when I first got sober is I just showed up at church. Anytime the church was open, I showed up with my kid and put him in childcare, and I
Yeah.
prayed. And someone told me in early sobriety, like, pray every time you want to drink. And so I prayed a lot. I came up with this little prayer. I didn't know the serenity prayer. I've maybe heard it before, but it didn't really resonate with me at the time. I wasn't in meetings. So I came up with my own prayer. And it was, God, make me willing to do whatever it takes, no matter what the cost, to stay
Mm.
sober today.
I pray that
And
today.
yeah.
I
And I
do.
just prayed it over and over and over again, like, make me willing to do whatever it takes, no matter what the cost, no matter how hard it
Yeah.
is, no matter how difficult. I just prayed it over and over and over again. And I didn't start working the steps until I was 9 months sober. And during that time, some of the Celebrate recoveries that I went to were not the super healthiest ones. They weren't even being done right. But I had a higher power. It was something greater than myself. And I had people that wanted to help. And I met people and they loved on me. And I had some spirituality, and that actually got me sober before I knew about the program, before I understood what the 12 steps were. My higher power stepped in and carried me through and put the right people in my life at the right times. And throughout my sobriety and my recovery, my concept of higher power has morphed and changed. at about a year, well, yeah, at about a year sober, I was working the steps, and my sponsor had me become a Celebrate Recovery, step into the leadership team at that time, and uh, we did recovery and spirituality together. And I learned how to speak in front of people. I learned how to relate to people. We used to have these like um, team meetings where we would learn conflict resolution, and like spirituality had everything to do with it for me.
Mm.
I really believe that my depth of spirituality has been one of the biggest factors in why I have never relapsed. It's added so much depth and light and life and beauty to my program. Granted, some of the religious things that I learned also caused me a lot of pain and caused me to make some decisions. You know, I listened to a lot of religious rhetoric that, in the end, instead of learning things for myself, I believed what other people told me. Instead of learning my experience of God, I believed that people said, well, this is who God is. And this book tells exactly, you know, who God is. And if you don't follow this book, then you're not following God, right? And
Yeah.
like, and rather than, eventually I got around to going, well, this is my experience of God. And my experience of God is that God is love. And eventually, like, now I identify my higher power as unconditional love, right? Which
Mm.
I don't put a name on it. I don't put a religion on it. I've learned a lot about a bunch of different religions. I pull in weird practices from all of them. I currently have a Dia de los Muertos altar in my living
Hello?
room. Like, I'm doing all kinds of fun, different stuff than I used to do. And I love it. My concept of God has expanded, and into this beautiful, loving thing. And every day I want to do something spiritual to connect. Like, I used to think that if I didn't pray every day, oh my God, I was going to relapse and it's going to be the end of the world, and I have to say a prayer every day. And now uh, I do pray every day, but my prayer might be, I step outside in the morning before it gets light and I look at the stars, and that's it. That's the prayer.
That's
Right?
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
um and I realize how small I am and how big the universe is, and that the air in my lungs that I breathe without thinking is life, right? And
Yeah.
it's beautiful and wonderful. And I listen to all these amazing spiritual guides and gurus, and I glean the wisdom that I love and identify with. And then sometimes I hear things and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't really resonate with me. I'm going to leave that behind, right? And I learned that from the program, like, take what you like and leave the rest.
Mm-hmm.
And spirituality has been beautiful for me. I can't imagine trying to do recovery without it. It seems
Yeah.
like it would be fall very flat to me.
Yeah.
What does life stand for, Nicolette?
I don't know, Andrew. What does life stand for?
A few things. Love is for everyone.
Ooh, I like it.
Living in full experience.
Yeah.
I like that.
Learning is for eternity.
Oh. Oh,
So
that one has
good.
my heart right there.
Let's go. Let's go.
Right?
I'll send them all to you. I just, when you said the life part in there, I said, oh, let me hit her with this one. And time, things I must earn, and this I must experience. Time.
I like
Mhm.
that too. A lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take
Okay.
that question, I believe. Or is it to
Yeah,
you,
Yeah.
no,
Brandy, or
it
is
goes
it?
to you,
No, it goes
Andrew.
to you,
Oh,
Andrew.
I actually guessed right. Yes.
Yeah.
Ah,
What
I'm just
Oh,
here.
oh, and I got your acronym for freak. Ready?
Yes,
Freak.
I'm ready.
FREAK. Forever replacing every act knowingly. You can be a
I
freak in a
like
good
it.
way or a bad way. I don't,
I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
I didn't go
That
negative or
was
positive with it, but you're
that was
freaking
pretty
out.
good off the cuff. I like it.
Let's go.
That was good. He's
Sorry.
good.
Oh, that's good. All right, Andrew. What
Yes.
role has spirituality played in your recovery?
Um, Wow. It's the heartbeat, spirituality. I was told this is a
Mm,
spiritual, not religious program, and that's the only thing that really hooked me early because I wasn't into the religious thing. I'd had just bad run-ins with the church thing and just, I had been baptized, but I just didn't have a good mindset on like what this Jesus and God that walks on water and all that shit. Like I just didn't, it wasn't my thing. And so if you were going to adhere to that, I was already going to complicate my way out. That was going to be my first thing where it was like, no, it's not for me. Because as an addict, like we'll find anything to complicate our way out early. Instead of identifying
yes.
in, we complicate out. It's real easy to complicate out. We use too much, we don't use enough. Like it's real easy to go there. And so that early is big, but life gets loud. Life gets uncertain. When I first came here, I didn't understand what spirituality was, but like when I started doing some, reading these books, this literature is God's love letters to us, Miss Nicolette. These
Mm,
books, that's what my sponsor says, it's God's love letters to us. Man, this is an
I
open
like
book
that.
test, right? And so it didn't mean I had to believe in something specifically, and I was told that it could be whatever I needed to be as long as it wasn't me. And I could wrap my brain around that. I could wrap my brain around that. Like when I learned what love was and I learned that God is love, right? Like love is God. Like this, that's the same thing to me. It's the same thing to me. And I was also told the most spiritual person in the room is the one that can be most honest with how unspiritual they can be.
yeah,
It's about
Ooh,
meeting
I
somebody
like
where
I
they're
it.
at.
like
It's
that.
about meeting somebody where they're
Yes.
at.
Bring
Think
it.
about that. The most
Yeah,
spiritual
I like
person in the
that.
room is the one that can be most honest with how unspiritual they can be.
I love that so much.
Gotta meet people where they're at. Got to meet people where that. Everyone's got their own process. Everyone has their own thing. We're all born spiritual beings. It says that in our literature somewhere in one of these books. It says that we're born as spiritual beings. So we're looking to tap into something spiritually at some point. At some point. And again, God put me in these rooms, and then that gave me a vehicle to work some steps and to get that honest relationship with Him. And so spirituality has taught me that recovery is not just about staying clean, right? It's about becoming a whole human person and spiritual being, right? It's about becoming whole. I was not whole. I wasn't filled with like humanity and discernment. Like I wasn't filled with anything. I was just filled with narcotics, substances, that artificial means to get my spiritual experience that I'm looking for. Now I have a practical means. I got books. I got a practical solution to get that. And my books tell me, my step work says if we work these steps, as a result of working these steps, I'm gonna have a spiritual awakening. So it's guaranteed. You're telling me it's guaranteed that if I work these steps, I'm gonna have a spiritual awakening. So just work the steps. Where are you going to come to a
what are you
12-step
gonna
fellowship and
lose?
not work the steps of that 12-step fellowship? What are we doing? We're just window watching? We're just window shopping here? What are we doing?
Yeah,
This is the most dangerous spectator sport in the world. You're going to sit in the back of the class and you're going to get hit with an article
yes.
of clothing and you're going to be like, what the hell is going on? Like this thing's going to fly right by you. But if you can get on the boat, man, get in the middle of the ship, man, like you're gonna be okay if you choose to do so, and you can get that choice back, man. You get that choice that you used to not have. And that's everything to me. I mean, that's freedom for me, right? It's freedom. So I kind of got a little bit off on it. I know we're kind of winding down time, so I don't want to take up any more time. But spirituality is also has helped me remain teachable. I don't have all the answers. I'm never gonna have all the answers, and I'm okay with that. Because like it tells me, God's like will for me is to be okay with or without that, the car, the food, the money, the clothes.
Mm.
I'm gonna be okay with or without that, right? As long as I can kind of, stay connected, get rid of that self-will every single morning that he tries to give it back to me on that silver platter of breakfast, McDonald's breakfast, and then I give it right back to him because I'm trained up. I'm trained up. I've surrounded myself with really, 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 really good people that are really, really strong in this program. And so um that's what helps keep me clean too. Y'all, y'all are the shit. Love y'all.
Man, I
Yeah.
love you guys.
Love it.
Okay,
All right.
Brandy.
Okay, Brandi,
Me,
what role has spirituality played in your recovery, girl?
man, like Andrew said, it's the heartbeat for sure. Like I've always had an understanding of some sort, or some type of relationship with God. But it was just because, like, that's what I thought I was supposed to do. Like, it was what, not like like all the cool kids are doing, but like I went to church. So of course, like, this is, this is what I believe, but I didn't understand it. I didn't understand it. Um, but then when shit got harder and life got darker, like, I understood, but I couldn't reach, couldn't grasp, couldn't pray, nothing like that. It was like, it was just far enough where I just couldn't quite grasp it, because I didn't believe that this higher power could could help me in a way like that. I remember I was younger, you say, well, it's not like he's going to pay my rent. I can tell you right now, he's paid my rent multiple times. And
He
yeah,
is
like
the
multiple
rent.
times. He is yeah, right. But what I've got, one of the biggest things for my recovery, is my relationship with God, my higher power. Um, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't feel like I need to go to church to have God in my life. I go, I sleep in a lot though. Every other, I'm like, I don't want to go every Sunday. I want to sleep in, but I don't have to go to have that relationship, to be spiritual, to be, the relationship that I have today with God. Not at all, because I've learned that, like, it's my personal relationship. It's not what all these books say or whatever else. Like, there's a lot of things that I believed, in a different way that I believed in the beginning, for sure, of my recovery. And no way bad, but like, I know for my higher power is love. And there's some things that are contradict what I know that my higher power is. And so I don't want to, I want to just know, like, and I feel is what it is when it comes to, like, this is what I can feel it right here. And my higher power is my spirituality, all in one. Like, I definitely wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be able to I mean, to be able to sit there and talk with other people and understand, like, have differences, and being able to learn something new, because you do something one way for so long. Like, I don't know how to do this. And I remember when before I went to treatment, I got up, and never been a on my knees prayer, but I did. I have one time, still the only time I ever did it. And, I was like, I don't want, like, I just don't want this desire. I don't want to use, I want it to be repulsive. Like, I don't want this anymore. And I had never really done that. Like, I'd give it, surrender it, as they say, and then I'd take it back. And, to this day, after 4+ years, I haven't had a single desire to use at all. And that's
Watch what you
not
pray
me.
for. Watch what you pray
Yeah,
for.
right. I mean, I did the work, but it's being able to be in tune with my spirituality, with my higher power, and what I can't do and what I can do. And to not try to mess with it too much. Definitely grow, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know how people do life in general, but recovery without spirituality. Like, because I lacked that so much, so much. Like, I find spirituality, like, outside. I always say, God speaks to me through heart-shaped rocks. And there's sometimes I go to the river, and there are so many
Yes.
heart-shaped rocks. I'm just like,
Yes.
thank you, thank you. Every time I see it, I thank you,
Yes.
thank you. And actually,
I'm
when I got
looking
home from
now.
treatment, there was a one that probably, I can't even justify to you guys how big this rock was, sharp, like, shaped like a heart, and I still have it. And so
Pictures
it's
or it
like,
didn't
and
happen, Brandy.
yeah, I have it. I'll take a picture of it. It took
That's all.
me
Now
like
you're
a
getting
half hour to
pictures of
get it to
rocks
my
for 3 days.
car. You will, yeah. It took me like a half hour to get it to my car. My daughter, I posted a little
I
bit of
believe you
picture.
now. I believe
But
you
my
now. I believe you now. You didn't have to
I
say
told her,
anymore.
I
I
said,
believe you.
if anybody says anything, I'm gonna tell them I left this rock here 2 days ago. Okay, I'm taking it home with me. But it's like being able to be in tune and notice those things. I feel like, there's so much stuff that we do pray for, and we don't. It's like, wow, that didn't happen. But we don't look for the acknowledgement of it. And you can find it in so much. And so, I'm grateful for that relationship that I have with my higher power. I'm grateful to be more spiritual. I feel like I could be more down the road, but I only get a little bit of time, and I'm good with that, because if I try to, push myself into something, it's unnatural. That's why I don't meditate. I paint. That's my meditation because I just couldn't get it. I couldn't shut it off long enough, but I can when I'm painting, and or when I'm looking for rocks. And that right there can almost numb my thoughts. Is when it's
Oh my God.
it's insane. Somebody said, what is it? A driveway never looks the same after you hunt rocks. Okay, so it's
Yeah, gravel driveway.
I don't smoke them. I paint them. I don't
that's
smoke them.
right. That
What
is
is-
right.
What does grow stand
Yeah.
for? God rewards our work. We talked about grow. God
Yeah,
rewards
I
our
like
work.
that
Yeah.
one.
But,
Or our
I feel
willingness.
I love spirituality, and I love that that I understand for myself at least that I don't have to do all these things that um a lot of people say you have to do to be a good Christian, or like you really follow God or whatever.
I'm not
I
religious. I'm
know.
Christian.
Yeah. Well, it seems like Christian's such a bland. There's so many like divisions to it that it's like
Best
it's
line
kind
of
of
the
like
day.
a half. I think
Best
it's
line
like
of
a
the day.
half-ass answer. Yeah, right.
Best line of the day
But
for
it's
sure.
like I went today. There was baptisms. It was great and stuff like that. But I went there for the fellowship. Because I don't. I got God with me all the time, and my spirituality is proof of it, really. And it doesn't matter to my level, to your level, to whatever. It's my own personal, and so I'm grateful for it. Yeah, that's my answer.
You.
I love that.
That's a beautiful
Man,
answer,
I've
Brandi.
loved this. Has been incredible. Okay, so
Okay.
I gotta ask
Bring it
me
home,
because I
closer.
don't remember
Bring it home,
anything.
closer. Coffee's for
Yeah,
closers,
bring it
young man.
home, Milan. What role has spirituality played in your recovery?
Woo, man, like so many different things. Like first of all, I had there's a friend of mine who started an agnostic meeting, and he calls himself a godless bastard. He loves to say it when he's at meetings.
Yeah,
Been on the
that's funny.
podcast. Been on the podcast.
No, I had a podcast. He was on here.
I know,
The
I know.
episode's called,
Yeah.
Anyway, but the thing is that I feel like I was that for sure when I arrived. And for me, I call it the universe. I don't call it anything but that because to me, it's just like it is everything. Whatever I'm connected to again, and it took me from acting only in my ego and about myself to becoming part of something. Like that's like the biggest thing that I feel different. Like, when they say you're never going to be alone again, I'm not, because I've reconnected with everything.
Yeah.
Like I'm having like the most insane mystical experiences with animals and the universe.
Yeah,
Like
you
it's,
are.
yeah,
Stay away from the bears, bro. Stay with
you
the
keep
bears, bro.
saying that, but you don't know him, man. Don't like
Talk
you
to
don't
him, Nicolette.
No,
Talk to
like,
him,
I know.
Nicolette.
But,
I
like-
must have missed something here.
Talk
You're
to
gonna have
him.
to fill me in later, Milan.
I like there's bears on my road all the time, and it's like I walk and I get like
No,
within
no,
like
no.
12 feet of these bears. Like it's kind of crazy.
No,
I
no.
have nothing seeing me as a threat.
Go to
They
his
just-
Facebook. Go to his Facebook. You'll
They're
see.
so used to you now. They're
The
like,
bear
Yeah,
is
like
one of my
I
spirit
walk down the
animals,
road
so
like
I
praying
love
and
it. I'm
singing.
interested. I would
He's
be.
way
I
too
would
close.
be on board with that.
Way too close.
Yeah,
Way too close.
and yeah, but like, and spirituality, it reconnected me with everything, and then put me in a life with principles. And to me, that's the biggest thing about it, is like acting inside those principles of like, it's given me forgiveness, love, and surrender, which the absence of those things was keeping me separate, right? Like it was keeping me from connecting because I either was resenting you or not even learning how to love. Like, when I was in university math, it was like, God, the arithmetic became less and the concepts became bigger. And it's almost like that with spirituality, where it's like the deeper I'm getting into it, it's about two things for me right now. It's about a deepening surrender and learning to love completely, because there is not a single spiritual principle that is not contained in love.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm the one saying it, dude. I'm literally saying that it's
No,
changed.
thank you for a reminder, man.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah.
I love it. It's so true.
And so it's like I don't have to do 50 things inside the program. I just have to like try to let shit go and try to see where I'm not
Yeah.
loving. And if I just do those two things, I'm free. I'm free for the day. Like those, like, and it sounds simple because it really is. And like I heard this the other day, and I'm going to finish with these two things right here. Is if God is love and our will is our thoughts, then God's will is loving thoughts. So what we turn ourselves over to is loving thoughts.
Ooh.
And
I like
and then
that.
and then the other day for me is I might not be people pleasing. I might just be trying to please people.
I love that. I love that. It's called instant
And that's
gratification
it.
because it's gone on an instant.
Thing.
And I love you
I
guys.
love you. I
And
love you
Love you
too.
guys.
this was amazing.
great.
My
This is
heart is
great.
full,
Me
and
too.
like, man, you are three people that just make my life richer.
Y'all give me
Yeah,
soul.
this was great.
What does soul
Yeah.
stand for? Source of unconditional love. I love
Ooh, I
y'all.
love it.
Yeah,
I love
I
there you
like
y'all.
that
go.
I
too.
love y'all.
Yeah. I want one of those t-shirts too,
I
Andrew.
got you. I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
it's a
Love
movement.
y'all.
No,
It
I love you
is.
guys.
Nicolette,
Man,
you want to
thanks for
finish with
letting me
anything?
be here. I don't know. I mean, I'm just grateful that you gave me the opportunity to be here and be with you guys tonight. And I always leave, I've only been on this podcast a couple times, but I always leave it with just a sense of like I've learned beautiful things and spent time with beautiful people that I love. So just thanks for letting me be here tonight. Makes
Thank
me
you.
happy.
Love and appreciate you. Thank you for coming back.
Yes.
Thank you,
Andrew,
Nicolette. Love you. Love. Let's our voices encourage. And then grace. I want to leave you with grace. Look, grace. Gratitude restores a conscious energy.
woof.
I
Nice.
love this shit,
And
man.
Give,
Brandi,
and then one more. Gift received and cherished every day. That's 2 for grace.
Brandi,
I love it. I love you guys. This has been a great podcast, and I feel like I've taken so much from it already. Like I've written down stuff. I'm actually looking up that book that you first I don't know if you can see it referred. You
Can't
see
wait to
but
listen to it
found
again.
I found it for $12.34, so I'm gonna buy
Yeah.
it.
yeah.
Yeah. So yes, I
Thank
love
you
you
for
guys.
being
Thank
here.
you.
I'm so
Nicolette,
grateful to have had
love
this
you.
time together, and tune in next episode for more
Virtual
recovery
hugs.
fun.
Virtual
Bye-bye,
hugs.
everybody. Please help us help others. If you'd like what you've seen here today, please subscribe and share this podcast and help us get to 100 followers. We're looking for interaction with our audience. So please email recoveryfreedomrising@gmail.com or contact Milan South Okanagan Starcic on Facebook with questions, topic suggestions, or just comments. We'd love to hear from you.